In these troubled times, Americans need a dose of Utah's common sense values. Small government, pro-value, pro-liberty.
Congressional spending is out of control. And of course, that involves the president.
But our presidential candidates are not hearing our message.
I think our issues are ignored.
We feel that we have no contact legislatively.
My vote doesn't matter.
When it comes to electing the most important office in the free world, Utah has no voice.
Virginia is so outstanding.
Thanks to the winner-take-all system of awarding electoral votes,
Also a battleground state.
candidates ignore states where they are comfortably ahead or hopelessly behind.
There's no incentive for a candidate to come and campaign in that state from either side.
Washington ignores us.
Florida will be a battleground.
In 2008, 75% of all the presidential resources, meaning visits, money, and time, were spent in just 15 states. Weeks after the historic 2010 elections, pundits were already discussing the 14 battleground states that would decide the presidency.
We're not a swing vote.
That means no campaign visits and zero incentive to listen to Utah's voters. Utah isn't alone. Under the current system, 2/3 of the country is left playing spectator as candidates devoted their time and resources to just 1/3 of the states.
Our current system is undemocratic and un-American.
In 2008, the candidates concentrated 98% of their campaign resources in just 15 states.
All of the influence, all of the polling, all of the message is developed to appeal to voters in just 15 states.
Utah, no campaign stops, and just $66 spent during the peak campaign season.
No one comes here from either side.
Is it any wonder why we're in this mess?
Both parties are trying to buy the swing votes.
And this legislation...
In 2003, President George W. Bush signed into law the Medicare Prescription Drug Act, the largest entitlement program since the Great Society.
The Bush administration was trying to communicate a message to 300,000 voters in the I-4 corridor of Florida.
Over the years, we've developed a situation of buying votes with taxpayers' dollars.
Issues that are important to battleground state voters or closely divided states like Pennsylvania become more important than issues that are important to flyover voters in states like Utah.
I can see the issue there. Just because you have a town that's got a bunch of people doesn't mean that they're more important than a little bunch of little towns with a few people.
It is frustrating to see them catering to the states that are the swing states.
Utah voters don't need an entitlement. All we want is a seat at the table, a voice in the matter, influence on the White House. Fortunately, there's a way to make that happen. The National Popular Vote proposal works within the framework of the Constitution to award the presidency to the winner of the most popular votes in all 50 states.
That's a great idea.
That makes a lot of sense. I could be moved by that.
Under this system, every vote in Utah would count towards the national popular vote total.
For whatever system is, provide the most assistance for me.
National Popular Vote preserves the Electoral College.
It doesn't require us to tamper with the federal constitution, but we can do it in a way under authority currently granted to the state.
Article 2, Section 1 allows states to award electors in any manner they choose, and the other is the Compact Clause, which allows states to make agreements among themselves. This is what the founders truly envisioned.
The founders never intended for 2/3 of the country to be ignored.
This is why they gave each state the full autonomy to award electoral votes.
The exclusive or plenary authority to determine how they want to award electors to maximize the influence of their states.
We would opt in through our own laws to say that our electoral votes would be cast for the candidate who got the most in the popular vote nationwide.
Utah might actually start getting some attention on the federal issues that trouble us most.
That's why Utah should demand its seat at the executive table by joining the National Popular Vote Compact.
It's not going to happen unless you get so-called ordinary citizens involved.
To lend your voice to this historic effort, please visit nationalpopularvote.com.
I hope every Utahn will study the issue of national popular vote.